Hello, everybody. Welcome back. And moving forward, blog number 26. 26. We'll do them as this year comes along. So today we're talking about something that literally everybody has dealt with, everybody can relate to. Take a guess. Pet peeves. We're talking about pet peeves today. Pet peeves, personal pet peeves, whatever. And just how to make it right. You know what I mean? Or, what's up? Like, you're working my nerves. What's going on? How do you deal with this? So we just thought, in light of the events taking place everywhere in the entire world, might be a perfect time to talk about some pet peeves. So, Chynel, do you want to start?
Yeah, so, well, we didn't introduce ourselves. I'm Chynel Ronai in beauty. Jesus Christ. God forbid.
You know who we are. Come on, guys. Come on.
Well, that's an hourly the agency in front of it. So,
right.
Okay. So, pet peeves. I don't know if I'm a weirdo for some of the stuff that I put down on my paper, but I'm just going to start with my first one.
Okay.
I absolutely hate when somebody sneezes and no one says bless you. I'm so sick of it.
When no one says bless you?
No one says bless you. When you just hear somebody sneeze and you just sitting there like that's just the rudest, ignorant thing I ever seen in my life. Like I remember my brother and my son's father, we were all sitting in the living room one time and I sneezed and I'm like, everybody's on their phones and I'm on one chair, they're both on another, and I sneezed and they're just like, I said, bless me. And they both look up like, oh, okay, God bless you. And I was like, y'all are failures.
Right. Yes. Okay. How do we make that right? Though? I mean, the answer is
I'm the person that is walking in the grocery store and I hear somebody sneeze 4 aisles down in produce, and I'm saying bless you. Or I like whisper to myself just to know that I said it. It's so weird. I don't know if anybody else does this, but I do it, and I would appreciate it if you guys would say bless you when you hear somebody sneeze.
Right. Come on, guys. Bless you. It's very simple. It's all you have to do to say bless you.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you feel like you need to say, you just go ahead and say it. Like it takes 0.12 seconds for you to say it. Okay. So I was gonna start businessy, but now that you said that sheds light on some other things. Hold on. So a big pet peeve of mine is when you're in crowded areas or you're just in an area in general where you're getting close and you have to pass by somebody and you don't say excuse me. Like, what is it? What is it that is so hard to excuse me? And it's literally just, and then like when people just sit there and just look at you like you're supposed to understand, like you need to move or whatever. If you don't tell me, excuse me, hello, like it's really, I can't read your mind. I don't know what you're trying to do. You could be looking at the beans right now. I don't know. So if you could just kindly just say, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Boom. That's it. Boom. Yeah. That's it. It's just, yeah. How you can make it right.
That's totally true. I see that every time we're out.
Yes. Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I think especially when you're at super crowded places, it kind of is just like, all right, you just want to get out of the way at that point. So it's a little bit harder. I literally try to say excuse me as much as possible. Excuse me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hello. Yeah, I feel like the simple answer here is just, just say it. You know what I mean? I think that people are so like, especially now, I think tensions are just high between different communities and everything that you just automatically get irritated. Oh, here we go. Karens and Bobs and all of them. They just think they can do whatever they want. And it's just like, hold on, take a step back. We're all guilty of it at one point or another.
Yeah.
But, I think we need to get back to that common courtesy thing. It's really simple things, you know what I mean, that we just for whatever reason find so hard to do a lot of the time. And we just need to, all right, you know what I mean? Just take a breath. Everybody's clearly going through something on a personal level here. Like, obviously, let's, it's not anybody, it's not our business personally, but at the same time, it's just simple, excuse me, bless you.
Right.
That's it. Just simple things. 0.2 seconds, not even.
Literally have to. And it could also make somebody's day. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Exactly.
I don't know who came up with the bless you. I don't know who came up with that. I don't know why we would say it, but having somebody follow up and say bless you, I guess for me just makes me feel a certain type of way. Like, number one, I don't even know. Let's move on. Because I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so my next one is serious. This is going to get you either slapped, it's going to get you thrown out of my car, or it's going to get you on a silent drive on a car ride. Oh, I have so many car though. Okay, this is what I stick to. Throwing stuff out the window, whether it's food, paper, it be whatever may be. Do not do it. I have a trash bag or a little small trash can in the car that I keep, and that's where I wanted to go. I hate when you're sitting in the passenger or even in the back seat, and I see you roll down that window. I see people throw chicken bones out the window. Yo, remember when? Oh, you must have not been. Was it like somebody threw chicken bones out the window, and I was just like, why would you do that? Like, I've slowed up, stopped the car, all types of stuff. Like when I have people with me traveling, yo, don't do that. Don't do that. And I don't know. I mean, of course, the planet thing, obviously. I mean, at the same time, I'm not trying to get a fine for you throwing something out the window. I don't understand why you're even throwing it out the window to begin with, because we have a trash can in here or a trash bag. And even if it's paper and it don't even make it to the trash bag, I'm fine with that. I'll pick that up, when I clean my car. But that irks me.
No, you know what? I second that, especially the chicken bone thing, because I hate when people just throw trash on the ground in general, because when I walk my dogs automatically want to eat whatever is on the ground. So 9 times out of 10, she's smelling the chicken bone, she's going off for that thing. First of all, she can't have chicken. Second of all, the bone, she can choke. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there with an attitude like, what the fuck? Who did this? Like, and there's a trash can like 2 feet away. Like, come on, man. Like, I too keep a bag in my car for those types of things, especially because, I mean, it's not, put it in your little side car holder thing, put it in your little cup thing. Like, you could just take it and throw it away. So I feel that, I remember one time I was taking my friend to the gas station and I had got a piece of gum. I took the wrapper and I rolled it up and I went to go put it in my, side holder thing, and he thought I was about to throw it out of the window. He was like, no, what are you doing giving me that? And I'm like, you really think I'm gonna throw this out the window? I'm putting it right here. And he's such like an environmentalist that he was just like, no, like, and I'm like, I feel that, keep that same energy, I respect that, you know what I mean? But I wasn't about to throw it out, like, believe me. Like, so okay, I agree with that. That's a good one. How can we make that right?
Well, for the betterment of our world, please just throw your trash in the trash bag or can. That's all you got to do. Throwing gum out the window or throwing gum in general, people don't want to step on gum. That's like the most disgusting thing you can do. Is have gum on the bottom of your shoe. And just keeping our environment clean. I hate walking around and seeing trash all over the ground. And the city we come from. That's all like you see in the inner cities.
Masks are becoming a big thing that I'm seeing left and right. And I'm just like, are you serious right now? Like, I'm seeing a lot of masks.
I'm literally going to put it in my pocket and throw it away when I get in my house or something.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be in the trash. I've never seen, even if it falls off my face, I'm going to pick it up and put it wherever it needs. So, that's how you make it right. Just in the trash.
Right. Okay. Another one for me. When you're holding the door for somebody and they don't say thank you. Now, this is a mixed thing here, because some people feel like, okay, number one, I didn't ask you to hold the door. Like, it's just common courtesy that you're holding the door, but it's just like also just manners. Like, thank you so much for holding the door. Thank you. Again, seconds. It's not, I don't know what it is that we have lost sight of, like literally the most simple things, like saying thank you, or like, regardless of what's going on in the world, like we can make it a little bit better here by doing these simple things. Excuse me, thank you, bless you. It's these little things, like you said, like even if the person has an attitude, even if they're being the total asshole, kill them with kindness. That was something my mom always taught me I've used it. It works. Believe me, it gets under people's skin when you're not affected by their attitude. So if you feel like, oh, they're whatever, they just expected me to do that, which I feel like a lot of people feel right now, you know, but who was raised better at the end of the day? You know, that you proved to yourself just now that you clearly were raised a little bit better because you just a little, you know what I mean? Because you held the door for somebody and they didn't say thank you. And whether you expected it or not, it was just something you wanted to do just out of the kindness of your heart. You just felt like being a good person. Just say thank you. I mean, it's
No, it's
really
okay because that is number 2 on my list. That was my next one that I was going to say. So we're clearly on the same path. We're on the same.
Yes. Okay. Good. I'm glad we're on the same page here. I'm glad I'm not tripping because I've heard that argument. I've heard that, oh, well, nobody asked you. Well, people don't ask us to do a lot of things. Let's be clear. People don't ask us to do too much. And we're out here doing it on a regular basis. So what's up? Like, just say thank you. It's really not that serious. You know, don't expect that somebody has to hold the door for you because they really don't. You know, and if they did, like, cool. Let's help each other out a little bit.
Yes. Okay. This is okay. So you took one of mine. We agreed on one, so that brings you down to 3.
Right.
This last one is retarded, but I react a certain type of way when I see it, so that's why I put it on the list. When I see somebody's purse on the floor.
Okay. So, that's an interesting one. Yeah, I want to hear about this.
So I don't know, just growing up, like my mom, my aunts and stuff like that, like don't put your purse on the floor. You're gonna lose money. It's bad luck. You know, and furthermore, to make sense of it all, I say don't put your purse on the floor, not because I'm going to lose money, but then you're going to go and sit that purse on the table. At some point, you're going to put that purse up on the table. You're going to put it on the bar top. You're going to put it on something where people eat, or some more hands are involved. So, you know, sliding it across the floor and then 2 hours later, sitting it up on a desk or a table, you're just transferring a whole bunch of germs. Furthermore, why we have all these hands. I mean, so yeah, just like don't put your purse on the floor. And if I see it, I pick it up. Even some of my clients come in and they'll just put their purse on the floor. I'll politely, without saying anything to them, pick it up and hang it, or pick it up and put it on a chair or something like that. Because, you know, and then we spend good money on our purses. Like, why would you just throw them on the floor? It's dirty. Like, why would you do that? So yeah, just people being mindful of their purses being on the floor.
Okay. I don't know. Just don't do it. Hang it up. They have the purse hanger now. You know, they have a bunch of different things that
they can at a bar or a lounge or something like that.
I'm seeing
if they don't have it, I'll strap it. I never strap it to my chair, but I strap it around my legs. So if it's that hang, I'll put it around my legs. Right. I'll put it on the floor per se, but it's on top of my feet. So I'm holding on to it, but I'm sitting there with it like digging with my feet. So yeah.
Okay. All right. I get that one. All right. I carry a smaller purse, so I don't have to worry about that too much. But yeah, I usually put it behind my back or something. It's somewhere, just not on the floor. So I get that. All right. Okay. Grammatical errors, serious grammatical errors. If you know me, I will always correct you if you misspell something. Like, I understand that we are not dictionaries. I understand, you know what I mean? We don't know how to spell every single thing. Literally, we have these mobile devices. You can search a word and it'll tell you how to spell it. I promise you. Spell check. I encourage you to send your writings to other people so they can look over it too. Please. Especially for people in business. This was more of a business thing for me because if you own a business and you're creating a post and you want to be taken seriously, but you're writing your instead of your, now I can't take you serious. Now this is an issue. The other day we were looking at a cry cut company, me and my mom, and they had created this like cute little onesie, very personalized. Is it Cricut or cry cut? The cut? I don't know, Cricut. Maybe it is a Cricut. It's CRICUT. So I'm thinking cry cut, whatever it is, the print.
I don't know.
The printing thing. So put something and then at the bottom they put like, yes, she made this onesie and spelled onesie completely wrong. And it's just like, this is how you're promoting your business. And it's unfortunate and it sucks. And it's not to bash anybody because I understand that people have their struggles. I do too. You know what I mean? Even when I make mistakes, I'm very quick to just be like, oh, wait, hold on. Let me correct this real quick. You know, and I just think that's why it's important to triple check your work, especially when it comes to your business, to put information out there and then for it to be received and then it to be taken as, okay, well, people won't take you seriously if you do these types of things. I promise you, I've seen it on an internal and an external level. If you are misspelling things or if you are just completely lost with how to write, like I totally get it. You know, find resources, utilize resources that can really help you because from an outside perspective, people are literally, I mean, everybody's judging your business. Let's be clear. That's inevitable. So when people go to your business and they're like, okay, why should I go to you versus this person? And then they're like, oh, hold on, she misspelled like 3 things just now on this post. Yeah, she's not ready. You know what I mean? She's not there yet. Let's go to this other person, you know, and believe it or not, I've had conversations with people like that. And people will literally dismiss your entire business for simple things like that. You think it's simple, but it's like, it really is a pet peeve for a lot of people, especially our English teachers and stuff out there. Yeah, like this is like their doomsday. So
I want to add to that real quick though, because this is something that I had an issue with yesterday. Like, obviously, writing up the post for the issue with the products coming over here with the wildfires right. and stuff like that. And I went to put in the template, I apologize for any inconvenience. And apologize, there was 2 ways to spell apologize. Why? Like, what is the difference between apologize with a Z and apologize with the F?
It's with a Z, but you know what? If you look, because okay, there's the Oxford dictionary, and then there's like the English dictionary. There's like, so there are some words, and see, and that's where I understand it gets difficult. There are some words that you can like color. You can spell COLOR or COLOUR. Neither of those are wrong.
Right.
But it, you know what I mean? It's those types of things. And that's where it's kind of like, again, like doing just maybe a little bit of additional research. I mean, apologize. I don't know who said it was with a Z. That is scary that would be an option. But
that was I spoke it into the thing because that's what I do. When I'm doing something like that needs to be formal, I speak it into the phone so that it can populate the correct way to do it. And
let me see. I'm looking it up right now, everybody, because you know that's gonna kill me.
Example here of the struggle.
See, this is the same thing. So apologize with a Z is the standard American English spelling, but with the S is the standard British English spelling. That's what I'm talking about. There's 2 different versions of a lot of words because some people refer to the British English versus the American English.
So neither of them is wrong. It's just, or is it wrong depending on if your entire conversation or entire paragraph is not in British English, then you can't do that.
And that's a great question. That's a great question because it's kind of one of those things where I feel like naturally because of where we are, I guess, in a sense, and how we were taught, the American English dictionary is more relevant to our conversation. So it would make sense that we would use that dictionary. But I mean, if you spell it out that way, somebody's going to understand it. You know what I mean? So it's not, so it's one of those things. And that's where I get it. And that's where it becomes complicated. And so use your best judgment, I guess. You know, there's how to get past it. Use your best judgment.
Do your additional research.
When you're writing, I'm a comma freak too, you know, aside from just like spelling or whatever. I'm a comma freak. I like commas a lot. I like commas. I love commas. I love commas.
I literally see it. I don't use them at all. So I'm like,
I'm very big. I think that was like the main thing, like from my grammar classes and everything. That was like the main thing that I took away is just like the proper usage of commas, semicolons, and stuff like that. And like even I have times too where I'm like, yo, I think I'm like overusing it. I don't always have to use the comma or whatever, but I just feel like the comma needs to be right there. Like, so it's very interesting. And I think like again for writers, I think we're at a time period where any type of writing is accepted at this point. But again, I think from a business perspective, if you are out here misspelling too much, I think my biggest thing is like the spelling of things. And that's why I said, like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to have a second person look. I usually, when it came to business writing for companies, we would actually have like department heads look over our writing just so they can, because sometimes you don't see what other people see. And that's important. So yeah, that's my quick rant.
Well, I will say that I do send a lot of my stuff to Ronai to either proof or completely just figure it out. Like what needs to be said, figure this out. And she's usually very quick about it, but she is a grammar freak. Because when I get it back and I see, okay, I'm just sitting here like, okay, I would have never knew that that went there. But okay, right. Clearly I'm disconnected from this whole entire writing thing. And that's not my specialty. I don't get excited about but there's people out there that it does make a difference. So when people are trying to interpret what it is that you're trying to say, I guess the only thing that I have an issue with when I see people post their businesses, like business posts and stuff like that, is when it's run on sentences. Like you got to cut it off at some point. Now I have to I'm a rancher in my brain, so I'm gonna cut it off. Like, you know, I'm gonna make sure I go back and read. I'm like, that just seems too long. 4 or 5 lines of just words. Like, let's just break that up and let's just make another paragraph.
Commas, yeah. No, exactly. I'm like that too, for real. But yeah, your turn. Or are you done?
I'm definitely done. I mean, I guess I didn't really say anything over like the business side of things. My pet peeves with that, I guess it's just my only other issue with people in business and small businesses is knocking the next business. It's not necessarily like a pet peeve for me, but it's something that truly irritates me. And I'm not going to support your business if you're knocking somebody else. I'm just not. I don't care what it is you're knocking them for. It could be because they don't have their stuff all the way together, but they're just not there yet.
Okay, well, I do have another pet peeve. From a business perspective, people that want to support with a discount. And I think that's beyond a pet peeve. That's just, I don't even know what word to use for that. That's just not really supporting, honestly. You know what I mean? The best way, especially from small business, tiny businesses, perspectives, the best way you could support people is by paying full price. You know what I mean? Like they're already trying to gain clients and, increase customers and put themselves out there more in order to maintain a solid level of business for themselves. And then you come along and you're like, oh yeah, I want to help you. I want to support you, but not 100%. You know what I mean? Only at an amount that benefits me in the long run. And it's not cool. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense, just, pay full price, show them that you actually believe in what they're doing. Because to me, for people that are just starting out and they do, and don't get me wrong, there are people that are like, oh, thank you for being, a customer, because of that, I'll give you a discount. That's different. But if you're just like, oh, can I say, I'll do this, but what's up? Give me like 10%, and it's just like, I understand we're family. I understand we're cool. We go way back or whatever, but it's like, there's a part of it, that just kind of feels to that person like, they don't really believe in what I got going on. You know what I mean? That's why they're not trying to pay full price. So that's, a huge pet peeve. And like, aside from that, like, let's be clear, there are so many other ways to support small and local businesses without buying anything at all. You know what I mean? If you don't want to pay full price, then take the other route where you can shout them out. You can engage with their posts. You can repost what they're posting. You can, tell your friends and family, that costs nothing to support your people. Absolutely nothing. You good over there?
Yeah, I'm good. I just dropped. Well, nothing. This guy.
Okay. So, the way to be better, you know what I mean? Just find, if you can't pay full price, find different ways to support, attend the event, repost the events, comment, like, share. It really is that simple. You're doing it for these celebrities that never knew anything about you, will never.
That's my part, though. That's my part. You go into a store. For instance, I just cracked my it's a highlighter from Ulta. You'll go into Ulta and buy all these brands. Just shop. Boom, 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 boom. Put them in your cart. Pay full price. You ain't got a discount in your cart. You ain't got There's nothing in there. You're not contacting them saying, hey, can you please send me over a 25% off and I'll be able to buy it. That never happens. You never do that. So why is it that when you know someone who is doing something, you're looking for some type of discount? Like, it's ignorant. At a certain point in their business, it's very ignorant. Okay, I can see, as they're growing, but once they're at a place where they're functioning a certain type of way and they're creating a certain type of lifestyle and brand, you have to support the brand, or else the brand is not going to be what it needs to be. You have to fully support that brand, like you said, 100%. So yeah, I mean, I 100% agree to that. That, like you said, goes beyond support. Like, not beyond support. That goes beyond a pet peeve. Yeah. So.
I mean, come on. I mean, just, and if it was your business, you would feel the same way. And like, I think that's the thing, is that
people don't know how to feel, because they don't have any plans on having a business. So they don't even know what that's like. I feel like, but here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. There are people who are overcharging for what it is that they're providing. Quality is not there. You should not be charging this amount for this. And you should be easily able to weed those people out and those businesses out. It's obvious, because if you care about quality, okay, this isn't worth it. How many times have we ordered something that was on Amazon or Wish or whatever little stores online, and you get it, you're like, I could have bought this from the dollar store
versus what I got. Like, yeah,
right. So I mean, and just to add to that, one last thing, I started to switch to, we don't always have to try to appeal to family and friends. That's not always our audience. That's not always our market. Build your brand to appeal to whoever it is that is going to purchase and support. Do not build your brand around your family and friends. Don't do it. You'll waste your time and you'll waste your money trying to get your family and friends involved, because that's not to say that there's anything, like, not to say anything bad about your family or your friends, but just saying, like, they don't have the same dreams and aspirations. They don't understand some of your goals.
Yep.
And that's it, So don't build your brand around the people that you're around. Build your brand for the people who are actually going to take out their card and purchase your product.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with that. That kind of, I have two more pet peeves, actually. So another one, again, from a business perspective, clients and customers that don't do well with advice and feedback. I think I want to say maybe less of a pet peeve and just more of just like, damn, I think when you're younger, it's hard to hear that somebody doesn't like what you're doing. They're not satisfied, and it sucks, because it's kind of more of a mental thing where it's like, damn, like, can I even do this? And I totally understand that. I think the key here is to understand, not everybody is not everybody's for you. That's personality wise, that's business wise, just bouncing into what you said, your product or service may not really appeal to the people that you're around on a daily basis, and that is okay. You could tell the wrong person the right thing, and they're going to take it the wrong way. That, and that is just what it is. I think that we need to be more willing to accept criticism, because it's important. Failure is the prerequisite to success. You know what I mean? It really is. And we need to just kind of take a step back. Right. Failure is the prerequisite to success. You know what I mean? You have to fail, before you can succeed. That's just what it is. And I think it's so scary, especially for people that are just starting out, just building their business, and being told, like, this isn't this isn't working, or, you know what I mean? I don't like that, or whatever, and, you get that, I've had the opportunity of failing upwards, in those directions, and working for companies where the CEO maybe didn't like something that was put together, you know what I mean? And I just was like, you know what, this is important. This, no matter how I feel in this moment, this is it right here. This is what I need at this moment, because you have to remember those moments. You know what I mean? Not only does it keep you humble, but it's just like, it's a reminder that, you're failing. You're failing, and that's good. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense for you to just go from point A to point B and there's no failures whatsoever. That's a little scary, honestly. I think it's more scary to think of you succeeding without having failed at anything. Because when that failure hits for the first time, oh, it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit, and it could essentially knock you down completely. You know, so I think, you know, we're here to make you better. You know what I mean? As professionals, as friends, as family members, you know, I have a lot of conversations with my people. You know, I feel like our group is real raw and honest, and, you know, we just, you know, we don't sugarcoat really. And I think that helps me a lot too. I love the fact that my squad is like that. I love the fact that I know that I'm going to get pure honesty, and it's going to be like, it's going to sting a little bit, like, damn, all right. All right.
But it's rare though. It's rare that happens. It's rare because we are all in the same type of mindset. You know, we all know what quality is, what it seems to us right now in 2020. We're all on the same page. So it'd be different if we had a millionaire, billionaire in our group. Of course, that wouldn't even, you know, we would be not necessarily failing, but we would be leveling up constantly trying to get to. But we're all kind of on the same level, let's just say the same level of success. You know, we're building each other slowly by what we're learning in the different parts and areas of the world, you know, in our conversation, our networking that we do. So that's amazing. If you don't have that team, you're struggling.
You know, it's crazy because I see a lot of people like in my travels and stuff, and I'm quick to say, you know, it really sucks that you don't have people in your corner that are going to be real with you. And I see it a lot. So when people get a whip of me, it's just like, oh, wow. Yeah. No, I'm not a lot, baby. You just ain't used to people telling you the truth. And that's a problem. You know what I mean? Because what I'm telling you is not about assassinating your character. I'm not trying to do that. Like, but it's just like, you need to hear, you know, I will never forget in Houston, I was walking out of some like little lounge or whatever, and this dude, grown ass man, sitting on the side, throwing his life up. Poor thing. Like, I really felt bad. Everybody left him straight up. He wasn't homeless or anything. Like, they just left him on the side of the road like that. And he was just like, man, he was like, oh, how am I getting home, man? Like, I'm trying to get home. And I'm like, yo. And I was like, listen, my man, like, you need to reevaluate your people, the people that you're surrounded by, because they legit just left you here to fend for yourself. Like,
let's pause. Let's pause on that. I can remember when I was laying in my bed throwing up, dying, and all my friends left me. Now, granted, I was in my bed throwing up after a party that they wanted to put together. But, oh my God, Ronai. Okay, go ahead. Just wanted to get out of this for our viewers to let them know.
Chynel swore. I don't think anybody even knew Chynel was on her ass like that. That's the crazy thing. I didn't even know. I promise you, we were all, you know, we had.
Y'all listen, they tucked me in with bottles of water and probably a loaf of bread. I remember, and told me I was going to be okay, and left my house.
Listen, we were young and dumb. No, that you will never let us live that down. I definitely, and to this day, I'm just like, I don't know where, and I think it was because you were so composed that I don't think anybody really knew how gone you were compared to like what we were going. Like, we were all just, okay, end of the night, where's our destination? We're going home. We're doing this, whatever. We're getting food, whatever. Everybody was making their plans to be out, and you were just like, all right, like, and then out of nowhere, and then the next day, yo, so y'all really just, and we're like, what? So, you know, right state of mind, we were not in the same, look, we weren't there. None of us were there mentally. But you live and you learn. Long story short, you learn. Point of the story is evaluate. You know what I mean? Make sure you're surrounded by people that are going to keep it real with you, even when you don't want to hear it, even when you're just like, I gotta call you back. You know what I mean? I seen a meme the other day where it was like, when you're pissed off and you call somebody to calm you down, but they piss you off even more. And like, I definitely had people in my spot where I'll call and I'll be like, yo, and then I'll be like, you know what? I'm out. I'ma just I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna call you. Like, and then I would sit there and I'm like, you know what? You're really mad right now, bro. Like, you need to relax. And then I call him back. I'm like, man, listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
like you really need that. You need that type of honesty. And I really feel like, again, like I said, I feel for people that don't have, that are like scared to be honest. Like if I ever was like that, I quickly grew out of that. I think that living in different places and gaining different perspective, like really taught me to like just always be genuine and be honest, because honestly, that's the best thing you can do for people. Like, you know what I mean? Like lying is hurting. It's not hurting them. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not benefiting anybody really. Like, so I don't know. But, and then the last pet peeve, heavily unmotivated people with too much to say about everyone else.
My list. Ooh, that should have been on my list.
That is, number one, everybody's doing what they can based on their level of perception, where they're at in their life, more or less. When you're hanging out with a person or a group of people and, they're constantly just sitting there and just talking about X, Y, and Z, their business, that business, oh, they're doing this, but I don't know, I don't really believe in this. Listen, you gotta, first of all, exit the building, run, leave, don't ever come back. Like, just don't. And if you have to, limit your time with those people. I've been learning a lot about that. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you see it everywhere, but you don't ever see it as much as you see it when you're back home. And I know everybody can relate to that. I'm sorry. And I hate to say it, and it sucks that it's like that, but it really is like that. And I've just found myself in situations where I'm sitting there and I'm just listening. I'm literally go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. No, I find myself in situations where, or I have found myself in situations where I'm just sitting in a room, we're vibing out, listening to music, whatever, drinking, everybody's doing their thing. And then the conversation just goes completely like it just flips. And then it's just like, oh yeah, they're doing this. And, and I've realized we're sitting there, everybody in the room has spent like a good hour just talking to other people. And it's just like, wow, okay, so we really don't have anything to talk about besides, and then it's like, I'm usually the one who's like, oh, well, yo, like, what's up? Like, level up, like, da, 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 da. And nobody wants to hear that. The same group that doesn't want to hear it. And I've had people in that group pull me aside and they're like, keep saying what you're saying. Like, I've tried to have those conversations with them and they just don't hear it. Like, that's why I just stop. And I'm just like, they don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, they don't want to hear it. We've talked about this so many times on this vlog, but I can't stress this enough. And it really is an issue. And I bring it up a lot because it's important. It really is. You know what I mean? It ties into so many other things. And especially how you're going to succeed. You know what I mean? That mindset, that's everything. And when you're surrounded by people that can't talk about anything other than what he said or she said or what he's doing and toxicity all around, guess what? You're going to fall into that whether you like it or not. And then you're going to feel completely unmotivated by it. Like, and you don't want that. You've come too far to come only this far. You know what I mean? To just sit around and speak with people that just want to talk shit. You know what I mean? I mean, we all have those moments where we just need a vent and we need to let things out and whatever. I get it. But if that's all we're talking about and we can't talk about, I try to throw things, you know what I think you'd be really good at? This and that. Oh, word, blah, blah. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. We don't ever talk about it ever again. And I'm just like, damn, it sucks because you would actually be really good at that. Like, and you just don't believe in, and it sucks because a lot of it is the lack of belief in, their own person, themselves. And it's like, you want to be that person, but then it's like also very tiring trying to be that person to, you could lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. That's the oldest saying in the book. And it's still relevant. You can do all feeding you want, but you can't force anybody to level up. You can't force anybody. And that was hard for me. I think growing up and as I continue my growth journey, that was really hard for me to understand. And then it started becoming less about being motivating and it came off kind of like borderline controlling, judgmental, I think, to people because they weren't ready to receive the message. So they were just like, damn, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, you know what? let me chill. You know what I mean? Let me fall back, because actually, like, you're really not ready for this. This is not where you're at in your life. And I can't force you to be scared. You know what I mean? I know where I'm at, and I can only take control of that. And that was such a big thing for me. And then I have people that literally, because, tying into, the being real, being honest, that straight up tell me, like, they will not call me until they are ready to have an honest conversation, because sometimes they just can't handle the honesty. They can't handle the truth. They're not ready for it. They know what my answer is going to be.
Reality.
Yeah, exactly. They're not ready for it. And it's so crazy. I know people that are just like, we're talking and talking and talking, and we're having these real conversations, and they're just twisting their reality so much so that they don't have to come to terms with the truth. And I just like, after a while, I'm just like, yeah, okay, right. Like, because, like, you're not hearing what I'm saying. You're not even hearing what you're saying. And it sucks. And it's sad when you're a certain age or whatever point, walk of life you're on, and you still just can't. You don't have to be real with anybody else if you don't want to. I mean, that's not my cup of tea. But at least be real with yourself. You know what I mean? At least be honest enough with yourself where you could be like, you know what? I'm slacking hard body. And not only am I slacking, but, like, I'm not doing anything about it when I am slacking, because I think that's a hard thing. It's not enough to just say, oh, yeah, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. All right. So now if you've acknowledged that. So what are you going to do? You know what I mean? We're, a lot of our viewers, 25 and up. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. We're getting to a point now where, things got to happen. You know what I mean? One way or another, the state of the country, all of these things going on, people have really been making a lot of their time about, building their own businesses. We don't want to be treated how we were treated at work anymore. I sure as hell don't. That's why I started venturing off and doing my own thing. I'm tired of working for a man, or, I'm tired of working for somebody who doesn't understand who I am and doesn't care, for that matter. You know what I mean? Because they've passed and reached pinnacles that put them in a position where they just can't even relate to anything that we're going through at this level. Which is why I have so much respect for smaller businesses, because they had that ability to still maintain that level of transparency and honesty with their, group. And that's so important. But yeah, just gut check yourself. I think to make the most of that and to get better from, being so heavily unmotivated and talking, and just not saying anything at all, because you're not saying anything. You know what I mean? Gut check yourself, hard body, have a conversation, write it down. I'm a big person, I love writing stuff down. I just gut checked myself the other day. I had a moment and I was like, you know what? I just need to get this off my chest. I need to write it down. And then I read it to myself and I was like, damn, like, you're coming at me. Like, and that is me coming at myself. Like, I'm just like, all right, like, you got it. But I needed to hear that. And I didn't, other people could tell me, but I really needed to hear that from myself. Like, I really needed me to be like, bitch, listen, you know what I mean? Like, this is what's going on. Like, and people, I think, are scared to do that. They're scared to, I know a lot of people also that are very scared to even have time by themselves. People that just refuse to be alone because they're so scared of what they're going to find out and learn about themselves. I know it's scary. It is scary. You know what I mean? Especially when you haven't been on a good road. It is extremely scary to come to terms with who you are, what you're doing, how you're doing, but you have to do it. You have to do it. You have to. I'm telling you. Break down, cry, scream, do whatever you have to do. But you have to have a conversation with yourself. You have to be genuine, honest, raw with yourself, because nobody else is going to be as honest as you can be with you. You know you better than anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know who you are. You know what you're capable of.
Or you don't know yourself.
Or you don't.
And that is more of
and that's fact. Yep. And that goes hand in hand with, all right, you don't know yourself at all. And you're not even trying to find out. Like, you're just like, you know what? I don't even want to know who I am.
Usually I see that in people who invest all their time in other people. That's just naturally you do. You are so involved in other people's lives that you don't even really know what's your hobby, what you like to do, what makes you calm down, what makes you fired up, what's your triggers. If you don't know all of these little things, these antics that make you tick, make you go, make you boom, you're not getting nowhere.
Right. No, I agree. And I think that's, like I said, I mean, just having that conversation, even if it's just, a real quick, all right, you're bugging. You know what I mean? I'll be in the mirror sometimes just like, all right, you could be doing this, this, and this. I talk to myself a lot, to the point where it might be weird. And I don't care. I'm the weirdo. I don't mind at all. I own that. And I love weirdos. So, shout out to y'all for just, being you. But the powerful thing is like having conversations with yourself, no matter how. You could do it interview style. You could do it just saying things, recording yourself. You could do it however you want to do it, but you got to hear yourself and the way you think, because that repetitiveness and you hearing that over and over again, that does something to you.
And it's also important that you take it from your head to paper. You saying something and seeing something work out in your head. And I mean, this happens to people all the time where it sounded right to me, but now that I just did it, did not go as planned.
Right.
Like, you have to take it from your head and put it on paper. Share the paper with somebody else who can give you a good evaluation, and then go there. And a lot of people are scared to share things with other people because they feel like that person's going to
judge them,
downplay it, or knock it off, and that's never going to work, or it's just not going to, it's very hard. I will say it is very hard to share your ideas and share your thoughts with other people who are not understanding and on the same level as you. But that's why it's important to find somebody like you. It's important. It's important to find a friend, and if the only friend you can find is yourself, then you need to really be friends with a pen and paper and write and get it out of your head on paper and just go back and forth and evaluate yourself. Because that's essentially what you're doing, when you're speaking to somebody else who's just like you, without getting
I agree.
From their experience.
Yep, I agree. I totally agree. And I think aside from that, even if you make small goals, I think I've mentioned this before, like the switching your routine thing. That was like a big thing of me. And I'm talking like simple things. The way you get out of bed in the morning, like you think it's like stupid and it's silly, but it really is not. I'm telling you, you get out of the bed a different way, boom. Then you start doing other little things. You drink this tea instead of that tea. You know what I mean? You eat this for lunch instead of that for lunch. You take this route instead of that route. Like literally those little things, they add up, and it changes your perspective, whether you're seeing it or not. You know what I mean? You're taking a different drive to work can make all the difference. Scenic route versus city. You know what I mean? Like there's so many, don't underestimate that. Like seriously, like we said, like all of these pet peeves, it's beyond just being pet peeves. These are things that are really hindering us from being great. These are really things that are holding us back from being and excelling at a level that we could really reach, if we just put in that little extra effort. We just that little bit that makes a difference in somebody else's day. It's not your responsibility. You're not required to make anybody happy. You're really not. But you're not hurting anything, yourself nor the other person, by just saying the simplest, kindest thing. You're really not. Kindness is one of the most undervalued things, and it makes me sick. I, for a while I was bashed for being, you're too understanding, you're too nice. What? Listen, I'm going to continue to be kind because that's just who I am, and yes, I see the negative side of that. People think it's something to take advantage of. I've seen that. I've lived that, whatever. That's cool. But they needed that more than I did. That's not my problem. That has everything to do with them and nothing to do with me. I can only be real with myself, and I feel good knowing that I was genuine and I was kind and that came from my heart. You know what I mean? That does so much more for you than anything ever will. You know what I mean? Just feeling and just that knowing of, you know what? I did this from the kindness of my heart. They may have treated me like this, but I treated them like that. And I know that at the end of the day, I'm not mad. I can't be mad. I'm walking away from this situation, whether it is as simple as holding the door or not. And I feel good. You know what I mean? I have not one bone of regret in my body right now because I lived my true, life to my true self, my true worth. And I was, kind and I was genuine or whatever the case may be. And, we just gotta be better. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things going on in the world that make us feel completely separated right now. I'm seeing it on a regular basis. Like I said, tensions are high. It's hard to excuse a lot of things right now. People are just wilding out. I just watched a video earlier of this lady ready to square up with it, you know what I mean, with somebody in Walmart, and I understood her frustration, but it's just like people are really upset at the state of the world. We're not doing great. We're not doing great as a whole, as a society. We're just not. We're really not. And the whole trust no one, and it's all me and nobody else, and if you're not for me, you're against me. That mentality is a part of a toxic plan that other people put together to try to manipulate us, and we just need to find the truth in your being.
Well, one of the things I wanted to say is, we're getting into the time of the year where, yeah, I feel like we've really been through a lot we've been through a lot. 2020 is something
Still.
And never mind whatever you had going on in 2019, never mind whatever you went through your whole life to get to 2020 and have to deal with a lot of the different just changes, like moving changes though, like changes that are also changing in a change. Like it's like change. It's just too much. We are getting into the happier part of the year where fall is usually a lot of people's favorite season. Where you find a lot of scenery to enjoy, and you're cozy, you like your sweaters, your scarves, your tea, your hot chocolate, the weather, like this is the time to really, well, it's going to be new for everybody because we're all doing things a little bit different with the COVID-19 pandemic, but like, I'm so ready for fall. I've never been more ready for fall ever in my life. Like I'm looking out the window right now while I'm doing this, and it's just like I'm looking at the leaves starting to change, things falling, and I'm just like, wow, like, and we're here now, like, and now we're here, we've arrived, and whether you believe in holidays or Christmas and stuff like that, the next few months we're going to be focused on family time, which we have not been able to spend family time with each other because of what's going on. So I know that this year is probably going to be the best year for a lot of people.
That's true.
So start thinking of positive things. The beginning of the vlog basically focused on your mannerisms, like, with the pet peeves and stuff like that. Like just reevaluate your manners. Like who raised you? Like
long story short, this vlog was really about manners and getting your life together. Like, yeah.
And just know that a little goes a long way when you're dealing with kindness. That really can change a person's whole day and how they see other people. For the people who feel some type of way about, blacks feel about whites and whites feel about blacks. When you see a black person being kind to a white person, that changes some people's mood. You know what I mean? And I see it all the time, and vice versa. And it just furthermore shows that kindness is serious, and it's mind-blowing, mind-changing, and you can definitely get a high out of being kind to people and killing them with kindness. Like you said, is the best feeling for me, because I'm not gonna change how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Because of how your day's effed up, and you just can't function right now. I have those days, and I try to stay away from people because I don't want their kindness to go unnoticed.
Yes.
So just trying to leave you guys on a brighter side. Fall is coming. Get ready. Holidays. You guys.
Fall is coming.
Yes, fall is coming. So, vlog number 26. I think that was actually pretty fun for me. Still tying up with
No, and I think what started off as like a rant really just we really did a good job of switching this up and turning this around and making it into a and let's leave you with here. Let's be better.
Right.
I mean, just to second that and to wrap that up, I mean, fall is coming. I'm super excited. I'm excited for sweater weather. I love the style, fall style, winter styles. I'm looking forward to it. The holiday season, it's like you said, it's the time about being around family. And I think it really will change, this time of year because of everything we've experienced this entire year so far and continue to experience. I really do think it's going to change the way we appreciate those times of coming together and seeing everybody. And let's be clear, it does take these type of moments for us to realize, those types of things. But with that being said, I know there are still stresses that come along with these holidays approaching. I mean, the end of the year, it's like, if you look at it from one way, it's like, okay, 2020 is about to wrap up. Let's be done with this because this year has been trash, for lack of a better word. it has been, I mean, we've done things, we've been making the most of this year, a lot of us, but all in all, I'm good. We're, it was supposed to be 2020 vision all year, man, like blind spots everywhere, like, you know what I mean? But with that being said, there's also the stress of holidays. We have, if you're into that, that's something that you believe in. We have Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. We have like literally back to back to back to back. This is also equally a very stressful time of the year, which sucks. You know what I mean? It sucks for a lot of people, especially those who are still struggling work-wise. And it's just, a lot of that can really take a toll on us. And it does affect the way we interact and communicate with people around us, especially because tensions are so high. But let's just not forget what these holidays are really about. I think not a Black Friday person. I don't go do the shopping thing. I don't really, if I got it, I got it. If I don't, I don't. My whole thing is I just love being around family. I'm a foodie, so I love to eat. You know what I mean? Just that comfort and watching shows and opening gifts or doing what we do and just being around each other and just showing love and just being loved and feeling good in that moment. I think that's really all that we should really be looking forward to this year, honestly. All your Apple Watches and iPads aside, let's look forward to something like that. You know what I mean? Let's switch up the routine.
Making everything that you're doing now intentional, because it is, you don't have the money to spend like you may have had in the past because of the pandemic. So everything that you do, everybody that you see is intentional. Like, I am going to make time for these people on this day because these are the people who fuel me. Like, when we had everything stripped away from us, it was the vibe and it was the energy that was keeping us going from other people. Nothing else. We were stuck in the house. So, feed off of that. Let that be, I don't know, just the focus, going into the holiday seasons. Just be intentional with what you're doing moving forward and who you're spending your time with.
Agreed. All right. And with that being said, and forward, I am Ronai with Anomaly the Agency.
And I'm Chynel Chapter 28 Beauty. And we see you guys on our next vlog number 27. See you soon.